Welcome to the Fearless Faith Radio Show. Each week, we bring inspirational guests, stories, scripture, and life lessons to help us all be unapologetic followers of Christ who stand fearlessly firm in our faith, personally and professionally. Welcome to the Fearless Faith Radio Show. Today we have a special update on everything Sunday Salmon, my little passion project that has turned into a ginormous project that I am so grateful for. It has been a whirlwind the last couple of weeks as I have signed the lease agreement for the restaurant space that has been sitting vacant on the corner of Park Street and Wolfensberger, and we are full steam ahead in our capital campaign launched. I announced my resignation from my full-time job at P&I. I am so grateful for my 2+ years working with the team at P&I. Looking back, it was definitely emotional and acknowledging just everything that we accomplished and worked so hard on together. I thought I was going to be totally fine walking away from that. Unfortunately, I was not totally fine walking away from that. I had a pretty severe mental, emotional breakdown that hit Wednesday night, which was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And it was a little scary. Some of you guys know I've really struggled with mental health in the past. And boy, this one hit me like a 2x4 upside the head. And I just began to question like all of my decisions. But I'm super grateful for the support and family that I have. I took my pity party. I went to Walmart and I used my breakdown as a breakthrough and decided to go to work. If there's one thing that I can do, I can push through, I can work through it. I know that God has given me this vision for Sunday Salmon, and I'm not going to let him down. I give him this ministry every night. When I lay my head on the pillow, I pray for him to take it away if it's no longer meant to be in my hands. But if I wake up and it's still in my hands, I'm going to honor him and put forth the work in obedience to get this thing launched. So I took my pity party to Walmart and I bought 200 bags and paper clips and rubber bands, came home and started using my new HP printer that my mother-in-law suggested I get so I don't have to spend money printing with a third party like a FedEx or UPS store. And so I did. I just started printing. It's an inkjet, so it takes a minute or several minutes to print, but I stayed up past midnight. My family stayed up with me. My son pushed past, I think 10:30, almost 11 p.m., helping with stuffing all the goodie bags. And Thanksgiving morning, we went out. I have 208 houses here in my neighborhood in Castle Rock. And we went out and we dropped a little goodie bag introducing Sunday Salmon and the concept to 207 neighbors, because obviously we're one of the 208. So 207 neighbors, we dropped those bags to, and just asking for support and donations and hands raised for volunteering. And of course, praying for this project as well. So anyway, it went extremely well. Then on the way to Thanksgiving, we went to our aunt and uncle's house. So on the drive out there to Morrison from Castle Rock, I was sending in-mails on LinkedIn to all the Castle Rock business owners, introducing them to Sunday Salmon, and also was attaching our corporate partner campaign just in the hopes they'll take a look at it. And also our general fundraising campaign if anyone wanted to donate individually. So on that note, it was amazing. Got everything sent out on the way to Thanksgiving. On the way home from Thanksgiving, sent the other chunk of in-mails. So 150 of those messages. I then have had an unbelievable few days just creating those corporate partner packets, printing them off, making them presentable and beautiful. I have had hours of volunteers at the restaurant, cleaning, organizing. We are, as the date I'm recording this, of course, you guys know this is not a live show. So I'm recording this the Sunday before Giving Tuesday. And We are painting today. So super generous couple, they're family friends of ours, volunteered to, they professional painters, and they have a spray thing. So volunteered to come paint, which is absolutely incredible. But on that note, I am just overjoyed with the community support and everything that we've received. We have, as of right now, received about $2,400 in donations. Again, this is on top of the $40,000 from selling my Porsche. And I've put in another, I don't know, almost 10 grand just on various startup business expenses, like getting our 501c3 application submitted, filed, all the, I mean, there's a lot of expenses behind the scenes, technology expenses, setting up the website, buying the domain, initial marketing expenses. I mean, the bags and the paper cost money. So yes, there's just so much that goes into this. So I'm probably closer to 50,000 on what I'm putting in. Bought all the appliances, that was 10,000. Bought our tables and chairs, that was about $9,000. And anyway, I used that 2,400 that we got in on the campaign to start ordering things off of our Amazon cart. And so that has been a big blessing. I asked permission to my husband. I'm like, are you okay that all this gets delivered to our house? And then we're going to load it up in your truck and we'll take it down there. But things are progressing and I'm so excited for what this is coming into. So much community support. So let me lead us into a quick break. On the other side of this break, I'm going to give you the big Giving Tuesday hoorah announcement and what we're looking to achieve on this fine day. We'll be back in just a moment.
Every leader must learn how to connect with those that follow. Your story is the proving ground for real content that connects with your audience and moves them to action. Creator Spark is a proud sponsor of Fearless Faith Radio. To claim your free leadership content strategy session, visit creatorspark.com/fearlessfaith.
Welcome back. It's Giving Tuesday. Oh my gosh. Do you know what that means? Today is the day that we've been waiting for since this vision first came about for Sunday Salmon, and we got serious about it a few weeks ago. Have been working round the clock to get this thing launched, and today is the day. Today is the most important day in our capital campaign, and we are asking for your support. There are so many ways that you can get involved. So as of recording this, we have raised $2,400 of our $75,000 that we are looking for in this campaign. I want to tell you about a few other dollars that have been committed. Our new banking partner, Redstone Bank, has committed to buying about $1,000 worth of meals in January, which is unbelievable. They're going to help us right at the onset, paying for those food ingredients for our very big opening, which we have slated for January 5th. Stay tuned if that is a confirmed date. I'm waiting for my fire department inspection and the last few pieces just to ensure that we can open on that date. But we're also going to have a ribbon cutting. So Castle Rock Chamber of Commerce is going to schedule that for us, hopefully on Friday, January 3rd. All these things are in motion and we're looking to get them put together. The $75,000 is what we are looking to achieve with this campaign. That pays for the first 4 to 6 months of us operating. So we have rent and utilities that our rent's about $2,500 a month. Plus we have to pay for our share of utilities because we share a building with another restaurant. And so we are dividing those utilities and expenses. So that's on top of the $2,500. And then as far as our food ingredients are concerned, the whole point of Sunday Salmon is to nourish the bodies of our neighbors who are in need, not create another handout like food stamps, which 80% go to ultra processed foods. The food bank that we have in town, amazing, amazing resource. But unfortunately, they get shipments of produce and brown rice and healthy ingredients. And the produce rots after a few days because people don't take it. And you've got brown rice sitting on the shelf for years. So it is something that we have to combat because our neighbors who are in need aren't accessing healthy foods. And if you know anything about the current nutritional state of our food system, it's not good. It is an absolute privilege to be able to afford organic food and then have the time in the day to home cook meals without seed oils, without toxins and preservatives and other chemicals. It's like a full-time job just cooking for my family, and there's only 3 of us. Imagine our neighbors in need who might be working 1 or 2 jobs and they're at that minimum wage level, at that poverty line, and they're struggling to make ends meet. It's quick, it's convenient to grab the SpaghettiOs off the shelf. Well, newsflash, the SpaghettiOs aren't helping anyone. In fact, it just continues to deplete what's going on inside of their body, and it's harming their metabolic health. They are experiencing chronic diseases, obesity, diabetes, heart disease, chronic inflammation, fatigue, things that don't help people change their lives. So step number one with Sunday Salmon, the reason that we buy expensive, gourmet, organic, delicious, wholesome ingredients, it's the way that we're going to cause transformation in the town of Castle Rock is by nourishing the bodies of our neighbors who don't have access to beautiful, wonderful, wholesome ingredients or know how to cook them. So that's step number one. Step number two is we have long, beautiful 10 to 12 seater farmhouse community style wood tables and chairs. And we are inviting neighbors in our community to dine together, to break bread together. And so we have neighbors who have access to resources and means, and they earn a great income. They live life differently. Many of them out here in Castle Rock, they're strong in their faith. They know the Lord. They know how to bring forth God's grace and mercy and show the love and light to people who are in need, people who are struggling, people who have the negative thought cycle that's holding them back, people who live life with neighbors who are suffering from addictions and they are not living healthy lifestyles. They have marital problems. They have relational problems. They need counseling. They need therapy. They need help. I'm not saying that's all of the neighbors, but there is a reason why people live at or below the poverty line. And I know because I'm one of them who used to live that way. And when I look back at the way that I was raised and I look at the addiction and the toxicity and the abuse that was in my household and my mother suffering from her mental diseases and how difficult it was. There's a reason we struggled financially. There's a reason that my parents were obese and unhealthy and not taking care of themselves and smoking cigarettes all the time. And there's a reason. There's a lot of reasons why we lived below the line. And it wasn't until I was 22 years old when someone extended their hand out to me and pulled me out of the hell I was living and lived life with me to transform. That's what we're doing here. We are breaking bread with our neighbors, people with means, people without means, coming together, breaking bread. Relationships are going to be formed. So step one with Sunday Salmon is to nourish the bodies of our neighbors. And step two is to create connection, neighborly connection, where friendships are going to be formed and people can start life together, living life together. That is the point of Sunday Salmon. In your logo, you see two fish. Two fish is very biblical. But additionally, it's also symbolic of our two neighbors coming together. And so we have this campaign on Giving Tuesday today, $75,000. At the time of recording this, we've raised $2,400 and we need your help. So what am I doing to help, right? Because people are going to look at me and they're going to say, well, aren't you like a 3-time founder CEO? Don't you have all this money? Yeah. Okay. Well, let me just be real transparent with you. I sold my company, my second company that I had in June of 2023. The initial payment for that company covered the expenses, 100%. I walked away flat at $0. It covered the expenses of selling the business. I was then promised a $200,000 payment a year later. That payment never came through. The man has not paid me. The guy who bought my business not only did not pay that, and yes, I've had attorneys involved, and yes, I've had everything, but he left me with $61,000 in credit card debt that he racked up on credit cards that were in my name, because when we sold the business, it was a stock sale, not an asset purchase, which means everything transferred over. The bank that I have the credit cards with failed to transfer the accounts into his name timely until he got into a point where he wasn't approved through underwriting. And so he has promised to pay that debt. He is not going to pay the money that he owes me, but now I'm sitting here left with that. Additionally, he didn't file his taxes. And so we were sitting on the promise of a pretty hefty IRS tax refund that we couldn't file our taxes for 2023. So we wait. So yes, I've had this vision for a year. Financially, I was waiting for the time when I was going to have my $200,000 and ability to file my taxes and have this debt taken off and all of that. Well, none of that has come into fruition. So then I make a crazy decision on top of that to step down from my chief revenue officer position into an individual producer role with a new division for the company I was with. And that didn't take off. So I wasn't able to experience any commissions or bonuses at the level that I needed to in order to have a surplus on top of our monthly expenses. During the time I was a chief revenue officer, I asked my husband to take an early retirement and step away from his career because I was traveling almost every week. I was working 7 days a week and I needed help running the home and taking care of our son. He stepped away from his career and his pension that he was like 2.5 years from fully maximizing. And I asked him to step away from that. And he took an early retirement. So he was a stay-at-home dad for 13 months. Well, all of this changed. So now he's re-entered the workforce at an entry level because he was at the same company for 22 plus years. And so he's now working with a new company and we love it. And we're so excited to have that, but he's working his way back up. So financially, this is unfortunately not something that I'm able to fully fund myself. And I want to be fully transparent with you because people may look at me, they may look at my resume and be like, why is she asking for money? Well, goodness, I sold my Porsche. That's $40,000 and I've put in about another 10 behind the scenes. And I am willing to put in more, but this is where I need your help because we have startup costs, the appliances, the furniture, the utensils, the plates, the marketing, the cleaning of the restaurant, the window stickers, the signage outside, the technology expenses, everything. Like there's a lot that goes into starting up a restaurant, and I'm asking for your help. We are not looking to charge for this meal. This is 100% free. Now, when people come in and dine, those neighbors who do have access to means, yes, we will ask them, hey, do you feel like paying for your meal? Do you feel like paying the $28 for your neighbor's meal? Awesome. But it is completely optional. I believe the Lord will provide. I believe that God gave me this vision. I am standing firm in the faith and the belief that He will provide. But I do believe a lot of that provision is going to come from our community and our local business partners. So sorry for the rant. I just want to make sure you all know that I'm pouring everything that I can into this, blood, sweat, tears, and my savings account. And I'm now asking for the community to step up. So how can you contribute? We still have some items on our Amazon cart. If you can purchase that directly, you just choose our address in the shipping. It'll show up in the list of addresses. And so you just ship that to us. Thank you so much in advance for buying something off of there. We do need that Amazon cart to be, I think there's like $2,100 left in items on there. We need those items before December 31st. We need them delivered by December 31st because we need that week before opening to completely set up the restaurant. We want to have it set up before our ribbon cutting, which ideally is on Friday, January 3rd, not 100% confirmed yet. So that's number one. Number two is just to give to the general fund. I have listed out what all those expenses are, but happy to tell you what our monthly budget is ongoing. I can read it to you right now so that you fully know what these expenses are going toward. And I really do pray that we will be able to get our expenses down once we start understanding, access to food sources. And I do want to work with local farmers, and everything needs to be organic. I'm a stickler for that. Anyway, okay. So let me read this to you so you know what goes into the monthly expenses that we're going to have. One, I need to be continuously printing brochures and little invite cards for our neighbors in need and doing mailers and postcards. And I'm going to have marketing expenses and printing costs every month. So I put that in at $500. Also, I want to advertise our space to be able to rent it out during the week, and so that we can subsidize some of the income. So I have that at about $500 a month. I already told you that the rent is $2,500. Plus we have our, let's see here. Okay. Plus we have the utilities that we're sharing, and I don't know how much that is yet because I haven't paid that bill yet. So anyway, so marketing $500, the rent is $2,500. I got to pay for like QuickBooks and some stuff on the back end. That's $35. And then we do have credit card fees when people donate and they use a card that has a percentage. So we do all of our donations through DonorBox. They have a platform fee, and then they take a percentage of the donation. So that's going to be a couple $100 a month that go toward those. And then we have our food ingredients. So my prediction is that if we feed 100 people per week with the finest gourmet organic ingredients, I have budgeted $20 per plate as the meal expense. So I have that at $8,000. And so that all together brings us to just over $11,000 a month. And that's what we're projecting to have our monthly budget be. Now, that's only 100 people a week. I would really like to serve like 300 people a week, 500 people per week. I really want to grow this. I really would like to open up that kitchen during the week, partner with the grocery stores that are donating those food ingredients, and just be able to cook, bring the families in, teach them how to cook, and send them off with their meals for the week. Do like a meal prep type service. And so I'm really excited about that. We'll also be renting out the space because it's going to be beautifully decorated. We'll have the full kitchen, so we can rent it out for business meetings, events, celebrations, whatnot. We'll rent out the space and be able to subsidize a little bit of the income. But I did want you to have that number because that is something that it's important for me that I'm sharing this with you so that you know where the dollars are going toward. So we have the Amazon cart for the last one-time expenses that we need. We have the general fund of $75,000. You can just give to the general fund. You can do that as a one-time donation or as a monthly giver. The monthly givers are broken out into the $28 increments because you're buying a meal. Every $28 you're buying a meal, and that's a full overhead cost. So rent, utilities, everything, marketing that I just explained, divided by, yes, you get it. That's the math. $28 a head, all the overhead and the food ingredients by 100 people per week. So on that note, that's a great way to give. Now, the big sponsors, this is how we're going to hit the 75,000 is through corporate sponsorships. I have a corporate partner packet, and the corporate partner packet is available on sundaysalmon.com/corporate-partner. And that packet is downloadable, but I'm also emailing it out to businesses, and I'm planning on making cold calls or warm calls. I know a lot of business owners, so I hope you'll accept my phone call. Hello, I'm going to be calling and emailing. It is the end of the year. This is a tax deductible donation. And so everything that you send our way before the end of the year, you can write off for this year, get the tax deduction, save some money, and it's going to an unbelievable cause. I'm fully committed. I'm all in on this. So let me say it one more time. Monthly and one-time givers to the donor fund, the capital campaign fund, and then also the Amazon cart we're looking for, and then those corporate sponsorships. It's a big deal. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me today, talk all about Giving Tuesday, give you the update on Sunday Salmon. We love you all so much. Thank you. Let's see if I can make some hearts come up here. Yay! I made the hearts on my screen. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. That's it for today's episode of Fearless Faith. Be sure to connect with me, Mary Grothe, Grothe, on all social platforms, and to learn more about my keynote speaking and other ways to work with me at marygrothe.com.